In an interview after Super Bowl 40, Seattle Seahawks coach Mike Holmgren was quoted as saying, "We knew it was going to be tough going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't know we were going to have to play the guys in the striped shirts as well." Many Seahawks fans blame the referees for their loss in Super Bowl 40. But what has blaming the refs helped them accomplish? The Steelers still won the Super Bowl, and it wasn't a factor in them winning games this year. In fact, it is an ineffective behavior because it doesn't help them get any closer to what they want. If we want to reach our goals in athletics and in life, we need to replace ineffective behaviors with behaviors that enhance our ability to reach our goals. Here are 3 ineffective behaviors and their positive counterparts. First of all, we need to replace complaining with action. During the last 2 years I was in college, my summer job was as a camp counselor for the YMCA. My first summer there, I had a group of teenagers who would always complain about the activities we were doing for the day. One day, I got fed up with complaining, and I told them that our next activity was to sit there and complain about everything they didn't like about camp. So they began complaining about the activities and the staff. Well, one thing they couldn't complain about was the food because they brought their own lunches. After about 20 minutes of this, one of the campers arrived at the brilliant conclusion, "This isn't doing anything for us." The problem with complaining is that it is not action. Complaining usually just makes you aware of the problem, but does nothing to fix it. An old Chinese proverb says, "It's better to light a small candle than complain about how dark it is." Instead of complaining about what you can't do, look for something that you can do. Then do it. Replace complaining with action. The next thing is that we need to replace blaming with responsibility. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your troubles, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a month. Blaming doesn't help you succeed. It only makes you feel better about failure. Instead of blaming someone or something else, look for what steps you can take to remedy the problem. Don't wait for people to change or circumstances to get better because most likely they won't. Replace blaming with taking responsibility. We need to replace criticizing with change. Criticizing someone is an extremely ineffective behavior because you have no control over someone else. It only distracts you from what you need to do to reach your goal. If you can't even make yourself into what you want to be, how do you think you'll be able to make someone else into what you want them to be? Jesus said, "Why worry about a speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own?" How can you think of saying to your friend, "Let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye," when you can't see past the log in your own eye? Hypocrite! First get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. By focusing on what you can control, yourself, you can take steps that are productive. Who knows? The positive actions that you might take might help the other person want to change too. Replace criticizing with change. The Bible says, "Let us throw off everything that hinders." Ineffective behavior hinders us from reaching our potential. By taking action instead of complaining, being responsible instead of blaming, and changing ourselves rather than criticizing others, we can eliminate our ineffective behavior and replace it with constructive behavior that will help us reach our goals.